everyone. Welcome to the Tournament Center here at Pro Tour Dragons of Tarkir in Brussels, Belgium. I'm Brian David Marshall, and I am joined by Pro Tour Hall of Famer Paulo Vitor Damo Da Rosa and R&D member Ian Duke. And I brought them here for a reason. If you guys are like me, you've done a lot of Dragons of Tarkir drafting on Magic Online, at Friday Night Magic, and already you've been faced with some really tough picks. I've had a couple packs that have just been really, really difficult for me to figure out what the first pick should be. I've brought in these two guys to make the case for what I should pick, and I'm gonna let them make an argument for me and tell me what it is. So guys, what are you taking out of this pack? Take a look, from an Epic Confrontation to an Atarka Afreed to Shaman of the Forgotten Ways to Roast. Paulo, you go first. Talk me through this pack and tell me what you would take if you were sitting in my seat.
Okay, I think there are a lot of cards that you wouldn't be unhappy to first pick here. I think Epic Confrontation is a first pick level card. Flatten is also a first pick card. Pacifism, definitely first pick. Roast, first pick. And Shaman of Forgotten Ways, also first pick. Even Cunning Breeze Dancer is a passable first pick.
It's a tough pack, right?
It is, yeah. A lot of people are going to be very happy down the road. Someone is going to get, fourth pick Pacifism.
I mean, should I be thinking about color signaling here? What am I doing?
I think in this particular pack, I think Roast is a little bit better than the other options, and also in a better color. I think green and white are the two worst colors to start with in this format, because the way signaling works for packs 1, 2, and 3. So I would rather just start with Roast and keep my options a little bit open, I think. But I honestly couldn't fault you for taking the Shaman of Forgotten Ways, even the Flatten, the Pacifist. I think they're all good cards.
All right, Ian Duke, make your case. What should I pick here?
Yeah, it's tricky. I definitely agree with a lot of the cards that stand out: Epic Confrontation, Flatten, Pacifism, Roast, Shaman of the Forgotten Ways, Cunning Breeze Dancer. I like Cunning Breeze Dancer a lot, but I'm not looking to pick it up this early. If I'm in blue and white, I'd love to see that like 3 through 6, something like that. All the removal spells I think are fairly even. Roast is probably the best. I agree with Paulo on that. But I think Flatten probably gets my pick here. It's the only strong black card in the pack. Black is pretty deep in this format. I can send along a bunch of red and green cards that my people downstream might be interested in. So yeah, I think I'd go with Flatten, although I've heard that in testing a lot, players like to favor the rares just to get some more play testing with them and see how they are. So Shaman of the Forgotten Ways, I think if I was at Friday Night Magic or testing for the Pro Tour, I might pick this to find out more about how strong it is.
But sitting down to win the draft, you're saying
yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Flatten here, yeah.
All right, I love Roast, but I love blue-black so much.
True.
And if I'm not passing a really premium black card, I think I'm going to let Ian win this argument, and I would take the Flatten here. Sorry, Paulo. All right, let's take a look at another pack. Again, this is first pack. Ian, you start here and tell me what you're thinking about. Again, some very similar cards.
Yeah, so I'll start with the rare here, Berserker's Onslaught. This is a card I wouldn't consider it a bomb rare, but it is quite good, especially if you're in red-green, a Tarka style deck with high power creatures. Interceptor's solid, not great. Youthful Scholar's pretty good, especially if you're an exploit deck. Epic Confrontation and Flatten also very good. Yeah, tricky here. I guess I'd probably start off with the Berserker's Onslaught. Again, I wouldn't consider it a bomb, but I think it's a bit better than some of the really solid common removal spells like Flatten and Epic Confrontation.
Okay, Paulo.
All right,
make the case.
I would actually go with Flatten.
Okay.
I think it's just a more powerful card than Berserker's Onslaught. I think Onslaught could be very, very good in the right deck in the right moment, but Flatten is always going to be good. So Flatten is always going to be an 8, and Onslaught is going to be, either a 9 or a 2, depending on how the game is looking and what your deck ends up looking like. So this early in the draft, I would probably just go with the card that leaves me the most open, and I think that's Flatten.
So tell me why I'm wrong that I would want. That's the card I'm looking at.
Yeah, you can't argue with value, BDL. So,
Mold Drifter?
Yeah.
You want Mold Drifter?
I mean, is that just a wrong pick here when I have the option of Flatten or Epic Confrontation?
I think Flatten is just a better card in general, so I think that pick would be wrong. If you have Epic Confrontation and Youthful Scholar, I think that's a lot more debatable, because Epic Confrontation is green, and green is by far the worst color in the third pack, so I really don't want to be green. There are no good commons, no good green commons in
Right,
pack three.
you're looking at battering Krishaks in the third pack
Yeah,
as
like,
like, wow, that was great for me.
Yeah, like Hunter Week is probably the best card you can pick,
Sure.
and that's not a place I want to be. So I will be green if it feels like green is open, but that's not even that great because green has to be open in pack 2.
Okay. All right, Paulo, you've won the day here. Flatten is 2 for 2 here, by the way. So, all right, let's take a look at another pack. Ian, this is your turn to start. Blessed Reincarnation, Silumgar Sorcerer, Ultimate Price.
Ooh, yeah, I like this pack.
I love
quite a
Mist of
bit.
Kirin. I'm a big fan. There's a Vulturous Haven. My proclivities in this draft format are pretty well known at this point.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of what I think of like as tier 2 commons here, like the Vulturous Aven, the Mist of Kirin, Student of Ojutai. Really happy to have those cards in my deck, but I'm not going to first pick them out of a pack this strong. Cunning Breeze Dancer, again, I really like as a finisher in those Ojutai style decks. Silumgar Sorcerer is a card I really like. Just a 2-power flash flyer for 3 is great. It doubles as sort of an essence scatter, but definitely for me, the pick is going to be Ultimate Price. It's just hard to argue with an efficient removal spell. It's flexible. It answers just about everything in the format, takes down most of the dragons. And again, I like starting off in black, especially given the way the rest of the pack looks.
Paulo?
Yeah, I agree with Ian. I think this pack is this is the least close of the picks we've had so far.
Sure.
Sorcerer is pretty good. It would probably have been my pick if the Ultimate Price wasn't there. But Ultimate Price is, one of the top 2 uncommons in the set, I think. It's just too efficient to be able to remove almost anything for 2 mana. It doesn't deal with bombs, but very few cards do.
Right. What if that Cunning Breeze Dancer was a Rakshasa Gravecaller?
That's a pick we actually we aren't in agreement in our house about it. We think that the Rakshasa Gravecaller is a better card, so most people would just take that over Ultimate Price. But I think there are some decks that want the cheap removal more. So if early in the draft I would start with the 5-drop, but later on maybe Ultimate Price.
Okay, so you guys are 1-1-1 right now. Going into pack 4, oddly this will be the tiebreaker. Paulo, this is you.
Okay, so you have 2 of the best cards in the set, Rakshasa Gravecaller and Necromantic Dragon.
So we're just not even going to look anywhere else, really. This is going to come down to these 2 cards.
Yeah, if you open either of those 2 cards, you don't have to look at the commons because they're better than every common by, I think, a significant margin. So best in common, one of the best rares. For me, the Dragon is the higher power level card. So it depends on whether you want to commit to 2 colors early or not. I think blue-black is a good enough combination and a combination that I want to be in enough that I wouldn't be opposed to committing to it early. So I would just take the Dragon over the Gravecaller. But someone who's more conservative and wants to keep their options open, could take the Gravecaller.
Couldn't the argument be made that by taking the Gravecaller, you're also semi-committing to blue-black because you really want those, Jeskai Sages and Palace Familiars to be your exploits?
A little bit, but it also works well in black-red and, black-green, black-white. It's gonna be good in
Just black decks. All right, Ian, make the case here.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely down to the uncommon and the rare here. In general, in most formats, I'm not afraid to jump into like a 2-color combination, or even in cons, I was one of the ones who would first pick a powerful 3-color card. In this format, I really feel like it's a lot more about like classic Magic drafting skill, which means drafting your seat, staying open, seeing what the signals are. So here I'm going to go with the monocolored card here. I agree the Gravecaller can go well in a variety of decks, not just blue-black. I've often had success with black-red with dragon fodders and exploiting those, for example. So that's going to be my pick.
All right, Rakshasa Gravecaller it is. So 2, 1, and 1 in the middle, but black. Obviously, the big takeaway here to me is that black is a very, very powerful color in this draft format. And, if you're drafting Magic Online, think about Ultimate Price, think about Rakshasa Gravecaller, think about Necromantic Dragon, and obviously think about flattening that common slot. For Paulo Vitor Damo Da Rosa, for Ian Duke, this is Brian David Marshall, signing off from the Tournament Center.